Hi everyone and welcome back to the Tormek Sharpening Studio here in Lindesberg, Sweden. It feels great to be back with our live sessions. In today's special episode we will be comparing our different Tormek machines, and I think it will be a great episode. We will try to talk about the similarities and the differences, and hopefully we will help you as a viewer or as a user to choose the machine that best suits your needs, is the plan for today. As usual, it's live, so things might go wrong, but also you have the possibility to ask questions. We have had a couple of questions already before the episode, so I think the Q&A section might be quite long today, but we will keep it at the end of the show, so we'll try to have some fluency through the episode. Before we move on, I think we should present ourselves for you who haven't seen us before. My name is Sebastian and I'm a country sales manager here at Tormek. I'm responsible for, Western Europe, and then I have South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and so on. Perhaps you recognize me by now. With me, you have someone you might recognize as well, my German friend, the sharpening doctor, Wolfgang.
Yeah,
Good
hello.
to see you again.
Hello and welcome to today's nice comparison of the machines. And my name is also Wolfgang Hess, as Sebastian said, and also country sales manager for Central and South Europe, so far to Greece, Turkey and Israel.
And behind the camera is our camera wizard, Victor. Welcome.
Thank you.
Great. My plan was today, Wolfgang, that I would briefly give the viewers a quick overview of the machines, and then I will let you go more into depth about every machine. Does that sound like a plan?
Absolute.
Perfect. We have a lot of different users, and so lately, or the last couple of years, we have talked in 3 different segments here at Tormek. First, we have the woodworking segment, etc., which also sometimes referred to as the blue segment, which is our traditional line, and it's these 3 machines standing in front of me. And those have been common for wood turners, carpenters, do-it-yourselfers, and so on. In the woodworking segment, we have 3 machines. The first is the smaller T4, Tormek T4 Original. Then we have the bigger one, the big brother, the Tormek T8 Original. And then we have the newcomer, the Tormek T8 Custom. So this is the woodworking segment. Then we move on to the hunting and outdoor segment, where we have the Tormek T4 Bushcraft. It's actually the same machine as the Tormek T4, but it's a more suitable green. And also included is the axe jig and the knife jig. So you have everything to prepare your outdoor gear and you're ready to go out in nature. And finally, our culinary line. There we have a machine that's called the Tormek T2 Pro Kitchen in this nice silverish color. And this is for the professional kitchen. It's made to meet their demands of repairing or sharpening a damaged knife quickly, and it's supposed to be user-friendly as well. So that's our 3 different segments. I think that's pretty much the quick overview, and I'll hand it over to Wolfgang and we'll go back to our woodworking segment. I think we start with the smaller Tormek T4 Original. Please, Wolfgang, walk us through it.
Yes, this is the successor of our successful T3, the T4 since a few years, and this has also a sink top, as you see here, so that made the guidance and guiding for the universal support very precise in that side, and here we have a little bit oval shape just not to block it, that you can move it exactly the same in the horizontal position. So it's quite precise, or even precise than the T8, so there's no difference. The main differences are the motor. You have here 120 watt input. You have a simple water throw here to just hang or click it in here, and even the standard leather honing wheel in natural leather. And the motor is about 10,000 hours, industrial motor, so it's quite rigid and quite strong for that size of machine and for the purpose you need it and which is thought for the machine. Included at the machine you have also your small getting it started, also the quick start and all the warranty and security advices, all the paperwork which you need today for the machines. Then a very detailed handbook as we have in all the machines in different languages of course, and just really precise described. And the main important thing is to find the right angle for your tools. You have the Angel Master, the WM200. One of the methods which we describe also in other live shows here. And with the machine is also then just to prepare from the beginning the oil for the leather honing wheel. So you will use it only in the beginning, straight to impregnate the leather, and then you will apply the honing paste around 3000 grit, which is also oil based, so that's quite to maintain the softness of the leather, and so normally you don't need to add more oil. The other method to find the right angle for your tool is our edge marker method. With our Tormek edge marker you just mark your existing bevel and then just reproduce it in the same angle, so you don't need to know what your angle or what the angle of the tool is, which is also described in many of our videos. And then last not least is the stone grater, the SVP 650 with a rough and a fine side. Because our stone here has a diameter of 200 millimeter and 40 millimeters width with a grit of 220, which you can change when you have a damage tool with the rough side, or you can smooth it down to 1000 with the fine side. So you have more or less 3 stones in one, which is quite, it's our recipe, it's our...
Yeah, and it runs through all machines.
Exactly, it's the same for all the standard stones, the super grind, the SG 200 or 250. Yes, then it's ABS plastic, so it's rigid, it's strong, it's not just simple plastic, it's ABS, it's a stronger plastic. And maybe just to inflict here for all the machines, because we get sometimes questions, this made in Sweden, in our house, developed and produced here just 50 meters next to the hall where we mount all the machines.
Yeah, we walk through the assembly, walking over to here from our offices.
Exactly, we have to go through the assembly to the office. So they're really made here, because this we got some questions, so it's for all the product range. I think these are the main features here.
Of the T4,
just
yeah.
Technically, I think we'll go later on a little bit more on the special groups or needs, which machine suits you best.
Yeah, we can dive in deeper. 120 RPMs, since the diameter is a bit smaller, and quickly sink top.
Motor directly, as on the other machines, directly through the driving wheel, from the motor shaft on the driving wheel to get really the full power and all the motor. Some people wonder why it is loose. This is by purpose. We can show it then on the custom because you see it. Here's the leather wheel covered it, so that you have always the full power when you need it, and not just to overheat the motor.
Great. Should we move on to Big Brother, the Tormek T8 Original?
Yeah, Big Brother or Big Sister or whatever you want to call it.
Bigger machine.
The bigger machine, the bigger sibling. So it is also the successor of the T7, because we had also a question about, today I got, what's the difference? Exactly the same technically, just a few other features here. I think we go to the stone.
Yes.
It's the same. Standard stone, the super grind 250, that's just the diameter, 250 millimeters compared to the 200 of the T4. The grid, exactly the same. 220, you can change with the stone grader to a rougher surface or a finer surface up to 1000. And in comparison, you have twice as much or nearly twice as much the material you can use to sharpen compared to the T4. The ladder wheel, of course, exactly the same. The input power is here about 200 watt. The same motor, industrial motor, not the same motor, as I said, 200 watt, but the same technique through this driving wheel directly on the wheels. So you have always the full power. You can sharpen also in the horizontal or in the vertical position, so that means against or with the rotation. The water throw, nice feature is you can change the heights. It's easy to take off and on again, and I can show you here also equipped with the magnet and a scraper, because you have done all the sharpening dust, and the metal is collecting here on the side through the magnet, so it's easy to put it in aside and the rest in the waste bin and the water in the sink. And then a nice feature you can add here on the water throw is just a longer water chute for longer tools, so that the water runs back in the water throw. And here the housing, you see there's a little bit angle, so even if water is coming on here, it's no problem. This is sealed watertight, so it flows in that side, or you can just tilt the machine a little bit and it flows also back into the water throw. Yeah, so and
included, you have a bit more of things included here.
Exactly. What you see here, the gray tray is included in the machine. That means, again, the leather honing paste for the leather wheel and even the oil, what you treat the first time. You have the angle master, and also with a magnetic label you can put on the machine or on your workbench where you want to have it, and also a quick guide how to use it, because a lot of people are asking us how to use it properly. So everything is really close, just have a look and answers more or less your questions. Then we have the stone grader, as I mentioned it already, and handbook and all the getting started and security advices and warranties. Everything is here. And of course, we forgot it also at the other machine. If you wonder, we get sharp tools, and then the band-aids is sometimes quite useful to have. And of course, our Tormek edge marker to repeat your angle, which technique you prefer, Y pen or the angle master. And additionally, you have already here the TT50. This is our drilling tool with the diamond tip, which drews your stone when it's getting round or uneven used, just to get a perfect roundness and a perfect surface again. This is already included. You don't need it straight from the beginning, but after a while. And then here, this is good, heavy, and it's good in there. It's our SE77. This is the jig for all the straight tools like chisels or planer blades, with a lot of additional functions, a lot of knobs. It looks quite complex. It's in the end quite simple, and we have explained it in section, I think 3.
Yeah, I think
we have done a lot of, so this is what I can recommend you. Just go, as you are here on the channel, look all the other parts we have done.
Great. Just quick recap. So the biggest differences is the size. Here 250 millimeter, 50 millimeter wide, 200 millimeter, 40 millimeter wide.
Exactly.
Here you have a sink top and a bit weaker motor. Here you have a stronger motor.
200, 120.
And the whole sink frame. You also have a more advanced water throw, where you can lower and heighten the water basin. You have the magnetic scraper.
Rounds per minute, important, also difference.
90 rounds per minute, 120 rounds per minute.
Just to address
the different sizes.
Yeah, exactly.
And also you have, from the T4, you have included the TT50 and the SE77 in the T8. That's
exactly. Most woodworkers have a chisel or a planer or straight tool, so they need it anyway.
Yeah.
So therefore it's included, and we suppose you will use it more. Therefore you have also the TT50 in there.
Great. Then we move on to our newcomer, the Tormek T8 Custom.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about that, please, Wolfgang.
It's exactly the same model as the T8, just what you have to choose the stone after your preference, after your purpose you want to use the machine. Exactly the same with the water chute here, and here the space for the stone you choose, and then even between, you can choose between the leather honing wheel and our compound wheel, which is a rubber, not really rubber, it's an artificial compound with small particles. So this way you can choose. And also handbook, the getting started, the short ones, and the angle master, which is quite vital to find your angle in for different tools, as we said also. But then you have to choose, because we have not included these three things here, these jigs, the two jigs and the SP650, because when you go for diamond wheels, you will never use the TT50 and the stone grader. So why should you pay for something what you don't need? So really you can customize for your need and purpose. You can build your own, customize in the end, your own machine. And you have really that what you need. And I think I want to show the drive wheel, because a lot of ask here, this is the motor shaft coming directly, you see it's movable on the ladder, and when you have power on it, it will press automatically, totally, when you press it, closer to the drive wheel, and if you release the pressure by sharpening, so it releases also absolutely instantly, so you have really the power when you need it, and not overheating the machine, because it's going always under pressure.
So basically, same machine as a T8, but here it's stripped down to the essential, and then you get to choose your stone,
Absolutely.
your honing wheel, the accessories you need, and customize your own machine.
Exactly,
Or your
because
own
if you
T8.
go into another target group like knife makers or wood turners or carvers, you have different needs, and then you can exactly buy the jigs on supplements and additional accessories what you need for, and not have something in the workshop.
Also, as we said in our custom edition, but a good option for people that has an older Tormek, but all accessories, etc. If you want an upgrade, you can just buy the custom and put all your old wheels, honing wheels, accessories, and so on, and use it on the new custom.
The beauty is with all the machines, the jigs from and tools, also older tools fit all to the new machines, and even the older machines can use the newer jigs. Everything is interchangeable and compatible upwards and downwards. So that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And I think important is also to mention we changed a little bit the warranty.
Yes.
It's a little bit here clear. All the machines have 5 years warranty when you buy it from that date, and additional 3 years that made up 8 years in total when you register your machine. All the machines have a serial number. It's on the side, the labels, or on the underneath. Just go in on our webpage, on the top, create your account, just confirm, you get a confirmation email that they're really you, and then you confirm it, and you have your account, and your machine is registered, and then you get additionally 3 years warranty. So in total, 8 years of warranty for all the machines. There's one exception for the smaller T4 and T2 then for the professional use. That means here you have for educational purposes, you have 2 years warranty. Here professional use in the kitchen, of course, but 2 years for sharpening service.
But on the T8s, still 8 year for professionals as well.
Absolutely. And if you want to read more about it, it's also on the homepage. You have every information there.
There's a lot of information on the homepage, and you will find everything that you might have missed or that we might have missed.
Absolutely.
Should we move on to the next, the hunting and outdoor segment, and the Tormek T4 Bushcraft?
Again, the same
As a
T4,
T4,
same
yes.
model, as you said already and mentioned. And of course, as hunter, you won't have a blue machine in your hunting lodge. It should be green, and therefore we have a green housing here. And technically exactly the same. Also, the accessories, basics, are exactly the same. And as you said before, we have added here the 2 jigs. It's for your knives, hunting knives, all type of knives, this until up to your machete and your axe. So that means unpack it, prepare with the leather, with the oil, put tuning paste on it, clamp your knife or your axe and start straight away. With the other machines you have just to adjust a little bit for what purpose you need it. Here it's a user-friendly one box.
And you have everything you need for
exactly, and then you get prepared for the nature and just go out.
Perfect.
And it's not only hunting, as we said, and outdoor. It's also for you as father, children. You want to go out wood carving or wood chipping, a little bit of whistling, or whittling, or you have your axe for the campfire, or for the outdoor guys, or fishing or hunting.
Great.
Or the filleting knives. It's perfect.
Same machine, but a different segment, and everything packed for your outdoor gear.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good. We move on to our final segment, the culinary segment, and the Tormek T2 Pro Kitchen.
Grayish or silverish, as you said,
yes.
line. Yeah. This is made especially for the professional chefs and for the professional kitchen, because they have a total different demand on speed of sharpening. They maybe don't need the high-end polished edge what we get on the other machines with the Japanese stone. There's absolutely no need in that target group. They want just to repeat their angle very quick, very fast, in less than a minute, want a sharp knife. Because you drop a knife or a pressure.
And everyone in the kitchen is able to use it due to the simple patented jig.
Exactly, and this patented jig suits only on the T2. So we get many questions. If I can add it to the T4, it doesn't work because it needs another second point to fix it. Because you have here on the side the gradings. You choose your grade, about 15 for example, fix it, and then you just clamp your knife, and then underneath there's a magnet to take all the metal dust.
So
and then the hooning compound.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also it's dry, so you don't need any water, which makes it better in clean environments such as kitchen. And also all the jigs and accessories from Tormek are applicable on all other machines,
but not here.
Not on the Tormek.
This is really a single
a separate
solution here.
Yeah.
And then we have no ladder wheel, so there's no paste and no dirt in the end. We have a compound wheel, as we have also for the bigger machines now. And the good thing is just you take it when you need it, take your knife, a minute later, hone it, and finished, and repair your knife, for example.
And the wheel included is a diamond wheel.
Diamond wheel with a 600 grit. This is the diamond wheel fine, 200 is the diameter, 600 grit. And then you're in the end ready to go, just put the wheel on.
No screwing, no nothing.
Nothing.
Very easy to use.
Exactly, there's no need for no maintenance, maybe once a year a little bit grease on the main shaft, that's it. It's
light also, I think it's 6.3 something, so you can just stow it away.
And they're 8.3,
I think
and 9 kilos.
And 9 kilos, bigger, but that's very suitable for the kitchen. You can pick it up, put it in the cupboard and back and forth.
And of course, as you said, in the kitchen, perfect, but not in the preparing kitchen, not in the clean kitchen, of course. Anyways, you have a little bit dust and...
Great. I think that was, we went through the basics of the different machines. I think we'll head on to the Q&A section, because I already seen we have a couple of questions.
Absolute.
We will start perhaps with our live viewers now. Our good friend Ken is asking, would you please
Hello,
describe, hi Ken, would you please describe what causes the 30-minute limit with the T4 and what happens if one exceeds it? Thank you.
Yes, we get this question quite often.
Yes.
So T4, T8 is a no-brainer. It is for permanent use. Even this getting a little bit warm, you get a feeling of heat as a warm. It's not heat, I mean heat, really you burn your fingers. The same is here for the T4. You maybe feel it's a little bit hotter, but the problem is first about 150 degrees centigrade plus. So you can fry your eggs, you don't get it. The certificate is only for these 30 minutes. That's of course, but in the end, again, those who choose the smaller machine are not those sharpeners who sharpen half an hour straight, because then all the stone will grind down quite fast, of course. Then it's much more better to have a bigger machine because it's stronger, it's more economy in the bigger machine than in the smaller machine. It's getting more expensive on the long run when you sharpen really more or less professionally on it.
Yeah.
But who is sharpening really under pressure? That means also if you sharpen a half an hour here, that means half an hour you put your knife, you put your chisel, half an hour pressure on it. No one does it, even not with the T8. So when you sharpen 2 hours in a row, you unclamp, you go back.
Yeah, you will never do half an hour. But with that said also, even though the certificate is only for half an hour, both you and me have had it on shows, working for it for hours. So it's not tested, but it works for continuous use as well, I would say.
I have this machine here, and then change also to the Japanese stone, the smaller one, on hunting shows, and just sharpening really hundreds of knives during a day, because everyone comes with a knife. Can you? And it really sharpen permanently. Yeah. It's absolutely no problem. You feel it. It's got a little bit hot or warm, but it's absolutely no danger. 150 degrees plus centigrade, then okay. Then you have a problem, but otherwise no problem. In case, of course, something happens, we have it's only for a half an hour on the permanent pressure, but we test it also quite intensively, so it's no problem.
We have John Blackwood asking, have you considered including the TT50 with the T4?
Yeah, we had there in the beginning the question. It's always, when you buy the smaller machine, you sharpen not in that amount than you buy here. Then it's always the psychology, the price. You can include it, of course, but then initially the price is higher, then the people start to think. Here is really, when you sharpen only knives or chisels, you come quite a long time without using the TT50. So this is in a later stage, so you can really put your money and buy successes. Bit by bit, put your system together. You don't have to spend all the money at once the first time. So this is a little bit the idea behind. And
the idea is that you can buy the T4 and then you can complete your system with whatever you needed. And if that's a TT50, we have had through years sometimes campaigns regionally with the TT50 included,
or the SE77 also, because it's then pure woodworkers. But there are a lot of knife makers, or just have knives and a little bit in the household. They don't have a planer, they don't have a chisel. So why they use SE77? So there's no idea to have it in there. So it's a little bit like the custom. You start there and move on what you need.
Then we have a question here. Leo says, I bought the T8 and there was no edge marker included. Leo, they are included since a small time back. Perhaps it's a bit older machine. If you
since this year, more or less.
Yeah, since a year. If you just bought it, send us an email at support@tormek.se and we will send you a Tormek edge marker for goodwill. Great. Rick says, I have a T7. Is the bigger water tray on the old T8 interchangeable?
No.
No. So
as you said, I will take it off here on the side of your custom. You see it. If you remember, it's like on the T4. You click it in on the T7, as you know, and this has complete different tray here. So you can't clamp it, or there's nothing to set in here. You really put it in here, and then you see this is the lift to transport it up and down. It's a complete different technique. So this is not interchangeable. So this is a little bit the development going further, and yeah, going with the tide.
Great. We have here, Justin says, I'm looking into buying one of these very seriously right now for a sharpening business.
Absolute no-brainer. This is only one of these two. Sharpening service, that means if you have only knives, this is always a little bit a preference. If you want the stone or diamond, you can use both. It's a little bit a question of preference. Personally, I prefer just up to, I have 64 Rockwell knives, no problem to sharpen on the standard stone. Even if they're heavy damaged, you have the stone grader. And then I finish, personally, I like it shiny with the Japanese waterstone. On the other side, if you want not to change always when you change the wheel, because this will grind down a little bit faster than the Japanese stone. If you want a nice finish, then you should go for the diamond wheels, because then they're always the same diameter, and then you can have just the fine and the extra fine, and then you go on the leather. It's superb.
For all professional use, we recommend the T8 or because the T8 Custom.
8 years, you have here then only 2 years if you use it as a sharpening
And also
service.
the stones are, not only that, but the stones are bigger, so they will last longer.
Twice as much.
It's a stronger motor. So for professional use, as you say, it's a no-brainer. The T8 is the way to go.
Because it's also, in the long run, it's cheaper than the small machine if you use it quite often.
Perfect. We have a common question, and we got it before. I think many buyers, when they're buying the first Tormek, they want a Tormek, they want to sharpen, and they often ask, should I buy a T8 or a T4?
Yeah. Then my next question would be, how often do you sharpen?
You would answer the question with the question.
Yep.
That's a good idea.
Exactly. Because just to meet really the customer demand, if this is good in the beginning, and then you end up in a sharpening service, you come to your limits here. Therefore, would that be the better choice? So if you sharpen a lot on different tools, no question, go for the T8 or the custom and adapt it to your needs. This one is really more or less, I would say, hobby, or for even smaller wood cabinet makers who just may have a chisel, a planer blade. That's okay. For a wood carver, for example, it's a small machine, perfect, also with a Japanese stone. If you have done quite a lot of tools and you do a lot of, then I would consider go over to a T8 again. It's a question how often you use the machine. If you use it quite often and frequently, then go for a T8, because on the long run, as we said, it's much cheaper. And you have already the TT50 in there, because when you sharpen a lot, you will need this here too. And if you add this and the SE77, there's in the end roughly €100 between. And if you consider that the stone is down, you have still half a stone here left. You need to buy another one. So exactly that moment you buy a second stone is your advantage. It's gone. So over the years, you will sharpen a lot, go for the big one, otherwise small one. And sharpening service, there's no doubt.
There's no doubt. Great, thank you. TL says, diamond wheel question. Since one has to be extra careful with the diamonds in the beginning, would it be a wise idea to break it in with a piece of mild flat steel and light pressure?
No. First of all, maybe we have a separate section. It's on part 3 where we talk about all the different wheels.
Yeah.
Maybe this is also good to check this. We go a lot of questions in there too, but I would use it as it is, because after a few minutes, or I would say with a few tools, you will feel a little bit the drop, that the extreme aggressiveness of the wheel is gone. So light pressure compared to the stone, and then will last longer. And in the beginning, take your tools which have really need a little bit extra treat because they're damaged, or you have to remove a lot of material. Then you will come down in the perfect grit in the end. I wouldn't go there just for nothing going down, because even if you're sharpening knives with the 600 and it's really aggressive in the beginning, if you use a light pressure and then you go on the ladder, you get it also fine. This is no problem. So you can, but I wouldn't go for that.
Yeah.
Just waste of material.
Great. Here we have a question. Paul Rhodes says, I'm new to sharpening and wanting to start a business. What is the benefits of stone sharpening versus belt sander sharpening? Thank you for all your help.
Okay, belt sander, you have speed, you have heat. You will destroy your edge of the knife. Knife edges, and every edge is quite thin, and you reach about 200-300 degrees by an instant, and you lose your temper. Maybe you have saw it also when we are out in sharpening. You get knives and it's hard to get a really good bevel and a good edge on it. And then you ask them, or you see it often also on a tool. Then they are grinded or sharpened by a belt sander. It's far too aggressive to the steel, and even you take a lot of steel away. If you are not perfect, you make a small chip, you have to grind down that too. Here the machines are very slow, in 120 rounds per minute, 90 rounds per minute, as we said. We have water cooled, so it's not getting warmer than the water it is, or the room temperature. It doesn't harm the steel, you have good control. You remove really only that steel that you have to remove. It's the wet sharpening for knives or for tools in general is the best way.
Yeah.
Fast, no problem. It's not the same edge. It's not as sharp as on a water-cooled sharpener. And of course, you remove more material and the risk of overheating.
Thank you, Wolfgang. We'll see what we have more for questions. We have, could you please address the towards the edge and away from the edge discussion? Is there a preferred method?
Yep.
I think perhaps we should take those kinds of, we have a lot of other sharpening classes, so please look into them. If you have questions that are a bit outside the topic, we can ask them in the commentary below and we'll answer them afterwards. Or look to, and we will have a knife advanced course further up ahead in spring, and that's perhaps more a philosophical question than something else, so we could address those kind of...
Of course also practical. Just you get more pressure automatically, and then you get less. You have a much better control over there. It's mostly a little bit frightened, it's just a mentally thing.
Yeah.
You hear about you get a hook in the stone. It's really, if you're carefully and concentrated, it doesn't happen. It happened twice to me myself. But just you talk and on a fair speak to people, then happens. Sorry, but that is absolutely. There are a little bit philosophy question, of course, but there's also you get a much better edge against.
Yeah.
There's also this is the physics behind and the techniques. The rest is just handling, and this is also learnable.
Great. We have a question from David. Can you sharpen ceramic knives?
With diamond wheels, yes. Also to a certain degree on the black stone, and this is also available only for the big ones, the T8 machines, so 47.
We recommend the diamond wheels for ceramics.
Exactly.
You can't hone ceramic because there is no burr.
The extra fine or the fine for the beginning or extra fine, absolute.
Yes.
Depends on how the situation is, how damaged they are.
Paul is asking what is the retail price in the US for the T8 complete set. For prices and stuff, since this is an international show, please go to our website tormek.com, click into your country, and you will find retailers and prices for everything. They varies a bit, and we don't have the overview of pricing in different countries.
Especially US with the different customs in different
Yeah,
states.
exactly. Great. We also had a question before from a wood turner. If I'm a wood turner and I want a machine, which one should I buy?
Also first, initially, I would say go for the T8. If you turn just once or twice a year, and not very often, frequently, the T4 works also for you. But again, as we said before, on the long run, this machine is much more better. In that case, you have 50 to 40 millimeters. You have chisels or bolt gouges. It's much easier on 1 centimeter more. And because also for the T8, you can start with the standard stone, but all the wood turner tools are HSS steel. You can sharpen them here too, but you will grind down the stone quite fast. Therefore, we developed the black stone, and the black stone works fine because it's more aggressive, it's more stable. But the newest, since more or less 1.5 years, we have the diamond wheels, which is perfect for the wood turner because you have always the same, it's flat, the same diameter. You don't have to change the angles permanently. If you go from a bolt gouge round, you get a little bit in a stone groove, which you don't get on the diamond wheel. You can go with the chisel directly here. You have to drill it first. So there are big advantages. Therefore, it's much more convenient on a T8, and because the tools are bigger and a stronger motor, and the better choices. It works here fine too, but you get some limits here, of course.
Great. We have a question from my good friend Pierre Grobelar in South Africa. Will there be a custom T4 custom in the future? We don't have any plans for that. You never know what future brings, but no plans for that at the moment. We also had another question. Will you be making a black stone for the T4 SP250? We don't have any plans for that either at the moment. We'll see if we have any more questions. Great. I think that it's about it. There are perhaps some questions we haven't answered. Some of them are outside of the topic and so on. If you feel that we haven't answered your question, please ask them in the commentary below and we'll answer them for you. Thank you, Wolfgang. You're passionate about the machines and about what you do. I think it runs through
everyone here in the house.
runs through I think the viewers see that. Do you have anything you would like to add, or do you feel that you have said?
The only thing I have to say is just check out also the other parts we have done in different languages. If you are not native English speaking or difficulties in English, we have it in German, we have it in French, we have it in Arabic, Swedish, of course. So just check all these different parts we have done it. There are a lot of information there, around 45 minutes to 1 hour, packed with information, detailed information. I think there you get also your questions and you see it because we are sharpened there too. And otherwise I can just add for myself, stay sharp and safe, of course.
Great. I will just, as I said, if you have more questions, answer them. Ask them here below in the commentary. We'll answer them. If you have more advanced questions where you want to send us an email or you need to send pictures, send them at support@tormek.se. Then if you want more information about our different machines and all the specifics and prices and so on, our webpage tormek.com is very good. You have also specific country pages where you find in your own language. We are very humble and glad that there are so many people following us week after week. We'll keep doing these episodes. We have plenty of more ideas what we want to do. If you have ideas, what you would like to see, please send us an email or comment here below, and we'll try to meet your demands.
Yeah, and try to ask you questions,
Yes.
of course.
We are enjoying this. Hope you're enjoying this. Stay safe and stay sharp. And until next time, thank you.
See you.